What's up, everyone? This is MRW talking. This is my movie review for Fences that came out a few days ago, starring Denzel Washington and Viola Davis, who is she is actually one of my favorite actresses right now. I love her in pretty much whatever she does. Great depth, very attractive woman. This was a very good role for her. This movie takes place around the 1950s, 1960s, and her portrayal of a black housewife during a time when the nuclear black family actually existed, much less today, and it didn't just exist as a sort of equal partnership, because Denzel's character is very misogynistic. He wasn't abusive, but he definitely took it for granted. And I might have to do some research on this. I might have to go back and watch some other movies of that time that depicts what an actually black family was like back during that time. But I wonder if this was indicative of most black households, in that the black husband very chauvinistic and just routinely, just time and time again, took advantage of, well, not take advantage of, but just didn't really appreciate his family or the wife. But then again, I'm sure this is probably the norm back then, pre women's rights era, pre feminism movement. I'm pretty sure this was the norm across all of America. So Denzel's character has a strained relationship with his son. For those of you who have not seen the trailer, this should not be much of a spoiler alert because it is in the trailer. Has a strained relationship with his son that gets progressively worse throughout the movie. I do like the fact that I like the fact that this character, Denzel's character, is very flawed. I'm going to focus a lot on his character because much of the dialogue comes from this one character, which kind of makes this movie, at least in the very beginning, a challenge to watch. Much of the dialogue is his. He talks quite a bit, but with this character, I mean, there are no redeemable qualities about him. He's not an asshole. He's not a villain, but he is very flawed. And they, in setting up all those flaws in the very beginning, and even towards the middle, going towards the end, I like that the filmmakers do not try to redeem him. Right? They do kind of in a way, but it's too late. You have to watch the movie to really see what I'm talking about. But I like that he is who he is. In the very beginning, he explains why he is who he is. I get the sense that they're doing this era, and like even now too, all right, that there are many black men, right, who are like this character, right? I mean, I've been around some that are like that. As a black American male, that character resonates with me, and so some of what he said, like I've heard it growing up. I've definitely heard some of it growing up. So sitting in the movie theater, there were about 5-6 other people there, and I'm wondering how they felt about that particular character and his excessive use of the word, his excessive use of the N-word, because it's during that time, we're talking about the 1950s. It was used quite a bit. It's used a lot, and I'm wondering, and he used it quite a bit within the home too. So, but yeah, the movie is, and I'm not going to go too much into a sort of detailed breakdown. You should see it. This movie is based on a play. I don't know who wrote the play, but one of my arguments, one of the things that I don't like about it, without seeing the play, it felt like a play, right? It felt like a play because much of the movie takes place in one scene, in one, well, not in one scene, but in one location. So if I didn't, like, had I not known that this was not adapted from a play, I would have figured it out at about 10 minutes into the movie. It's pretty obvious. I would have liked to have seen what much of Pittsburgh looks like, which is where this movie takes place in. Like, what does the rest of Pittsburgh looks like? Because they really gave a lot of depth into what the household was. There are a lot of backyard scenes, front yard scenes. There was a few scenes where he's at his job. It looks very good. I would have liked to have seen what much of Pittsburgh looked like during that time. The movie was a bit long too. You feel it. The running time is 2 hours and 19 minutes approximately. I just, like, that last 30 minutes, I felt it. But again, it's a well done movie. It's well acted, and if you want to see more movies like this, it's best to see it opening weekend, because much of the determination for movies like this getting made in the future is based on opening day weekend. Unfortunately, I did not see it opening weekend. I saw it on a Monday. I know what you're thinking. It's one day after. Doesn't matter. It's that opening day weekend that really determines how well movies like this do going forward, and the likelihood of a movie like this getting made is because much of the money gets raked in over the weekend. Hence why movies come out Fridays. These days it's Thursdays, sometimes even Wednesdays. So again, this is Thursday. If you still want to see it, go and see it. It's an experience. It's a very well done movie. The dialogue is great. The characters have much depth. I would have liked to have seen other characters get more dialogue. I would have liked to have seen them get fleshed out a bit more. But you know what? Even though they weren't fleshed out fully, they were very interesting. They were very engaging, and still had an impact on the movie, right? You know that these characters exist, right? You don't leave thinking, well, what happened to this character? What happened to that character? They definitely have impact. So what do you guys think? Fences, Denzel Washington, Viola Davis, have you seen it? Questions, comments below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Until next time.